So today what we are going to do is look at how to assemble your puzzle cube. So you should have your 5 puzzle cube pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They should be cubes over here. If they are not, if they are bodies, you can right click and one of these top things will be create component from body. If you mess the orientation up at all, like you made them nested within one another, you can make a new file and copy and paste them into there. We can chat about it, but you won't be able to do it as is. All right, so you should also have your puzzle cube, your physical puzzle cube, in front of you. So you can put them together as you go. At minimum, you should have your solution in front of you so you know how it goes together. All right. So step one is you want to pick out your first piece. In my case, that's the red piece, and you are going to right click on it and you are going to ground that piece. All right. So now this piece can't move. You are then going to, and let's say this piece was not in the right orientation, so I'm going to unground. What we're going to get in the habit of is clicking on this and hitting M, and you will likely be using these rotating items. All right, so if you do that, make sure you rotate it 90 degrees or in multiples of 90 degrees. Do not do anything other than that, because if you start going a little bit less than that, and your cube's going to be weird. All right, so I have this piece. It is grounded. I'm going to move on to my next piece. So in mine, the next piece, if you look at it right here, it fits in right there. All right, so what I am going to do is I'm going to go over to this black piece and see how I have to rotate it. Now, black is really quite hard to see, but I know that this right here is going to fit in right there. So another way to say that, this corner, this face, will line up with this face because that will force this to be in there. All right, so this and this. So I'm going to hit J, and I'm going to go down to this spot and click, and I'm going to go over to this spot and click. I am then going to flip it, and you see how that locks in place. Click OK. Now, what I want to make sure when I have that in place, I want to make sure it cannot move. So I'm clicking and trying to drag. That is in the correct location, and I have this. Now I'm going to move on to the next one. So we have this yellow piece that fits right on top on that side. All right, so I'm going to go over here, and I know that the back side of this is fitting with this face right here. Now I'm going to double check to make sure that is the case. So if I rotate this around, you see how the back side and the back side. All right. So I'm going to go over here, hit J, and we'll scroll in and click that face. And I'm going to click that face. Now, sometimes that happens. All right. So that is obviously not what we want, but what we can do, maybe, is nope. We're going to retry that. That didn't look good. All right, so I'm going to hit J again, and I'm going to make sure it is here, and I'm going to go here and click that. Okay. So you can also move these to the right location. And look what happens. Disaster. Okay. So sometimes that happens and it just gets messy. So I'm going to try a different face and see if that works better. Okay. So I'm going to go down to this one. And I'm going to go down to this one. Flip it. And that one looks a lot nicer. All right. So occasionally you'll have that where you try it a couple times, it just doesn't work. And you just choose a different spot and it works fine. All right. So going back to this. All right, I'm going to open up the next one. It's that blue, so it'll connect here or here on the red. All right, so this case, I want to click my blue piece, and I want to hit M. I want to reorient this. So I'm going to go 90 degrees, and I'm going to go 90 degrees. Oh, sorry, 180 degrees this way. So I want to do that so that I can see on this face where it's going to be. I'm going to hit J for joints. I'm going to hit this corner. And I'm going to hit this corner. Okay? Flip it. And you know what? I hit the wrong corner, but if I move that up, and those are going to be likely in increments of 0.75, it still works. Okay? So I have this. It's in place. The last piece I should be able to figure out. Yep. So now what I'm doing is I'm going to hit J. Then I'm going to click this top piece. And I'm going to click this bottom piece. Flip it and click OK. So now we have all our pieces and they are all connected. Okay, so this is a good start. All right, so now to finish this off, we are going to want to do two things. We are going to remove the visibility on the joints like this. Then I'm going to go up to this design and I'm going to go down to render. I'm going to see what it looks like. So this, I have not changed my materials at all. So the render, it looks okay. Like this is fine. Like it'll work. But if we want to be a little bit fancier, we could change these to a different material. So we could actually make it the material that we want. Okay. And sometimes that overrides. So I made it different materials, but it's still those colors, so that looks good. Now if I go back to my render, the colors are still overpowering it, so that's okay. But basically what you would do is you have your render now. You could play around with this if you want. You could look at different scene settings if you want, but at minimum, you're taking a snip of this. Then the other thing that you are going to do is you are going to animate it. All right, so to animate this, what you are going to do is something we call an exploded view. So you're going to go to transform. You can try to auto explode. All right, and you would have to click, you have to highlight basically all of this first, and we can try to auto explode. And if it looks good, you can do it. That doesn't really look good, so I'm not going to auto explode. I am going to manually explode, and then I'm going to basically click the direction that I want and move it out that direction. Oh, you know what I did? I highlighted multiple things. So we only want to have one thing highlighted. So I'm going to click that, and then I'm going to move that out. Click OK. Then I'm going to manually explode this one. We'll move that out in this direction. Okay. And then this one, we will manually explode out in this direction. And this one, we will manually explode out in this direction. So then if you look at your video and press play, I think it's the play is underneath, there you go. So you see how those all go out in different directions. That's what we want. All right, we want the ability to see those. Okay. And then finally, in order to get these in the situation that we want to publish this video. All right, so we want to click OK, and we want to save it to our computer. Make sure you know where you save it, like I'm saving it in video, and click save. All right, so once it's published, you should be able to then go to the item. All right, so I put it in videos, and then if you double click on it, it should open right up. It might be because it's not. Oh, all right. It looks like I haven't installed this yet, so we'll see. Hey, there we go. We made a video of it, the solution. All right, the end.